Hey there YouTube! So the video you're about to watch is one that I actually uploaded to my TikTok page here, where I've recorded about 100 different product reviews at this point. But this one in particular I thought would be useful for you guys because it's going to go over like how to take a really kind of crappy laptop and make it into a much more powerful machine just by swapping out the operating system. If you guys want to see more content like the product reviews I did, again, check out the TikTok page. It's Lord Gingerface, and yeah, enjoy the video. I got a laptop to review. Let's check it out. This is the Lenovo V15 Gen 2. Inside the box, you get the laptop. You get yourself this little overview right here, a little bit of paperwork, and a charging cable. So they offer a few different configurations. You can either get Windows 11 Home or Pro. You can get either 8 or 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and either a 256 gigabyte, 512 gigabyte, or 1 terabyte SSD. And it also has as a processor an Intel Celeron 4500, which is a low-powered processor, which is going to be kind of interesting to work with Windows 11, but don't worry, I've got a plan. So with the laptop opened up, we can see it has a fully featured keyboard here, which is pretty nice. I prefer having my number pad here. It also has a 15.6-inch 1080p display, which is more than acceptable to me, and actually a pretty fairly sized touchpad. It ain't no MacBook one, but again, it gets the job done. On the right side, we see some indicator lights right here. We got ourselves the micro Ethernet port. We got ourselves a USB port, and one of those little lock thingies to keep it secure. And on the left side we have a headphone jack, USB-C, we have an HDMI out which goes up to 4K at 60 Hz, another USB port, and a barrel jack connection for the power. And another notable feature is the webcam has the privacy switch, which is pretty nice. And the screen is able to fold back that far, which again is just kind of handy. So it does come pre-installed with a copy of Windows 11 Pro, though I am going to go ahead and flash my own copy of it because Rufus lets me do a lot of bypasses for the sign-ins, and it just has a little more privacy, which I really like. And you can already see what the end goal is here. But as we wait for this, let's go ahead and open the machine up and see what it looks like inside. So after opening this up, it has pretty much everything I expected. We got ourselves our SSD storage right here. We got ourselves the RAM underneath this. We have this enclosed cooling system, which is kind of cool. And more importantly, I want to take this out and see if we have a potential to add another hard disk to this. Alright guys, I had to go down the rabbit hole for this one. So we go to this spec sheet here, from Lenovo themselves. They say right here, if you have the 38 watt-hour battery, you can have up to 2 drives, okay? So I looked in here, and I do in fact have, if it'll focus here, the 38 watt-hour battery, which means you would expect the SATA to be right there, to use with this caddy. But if we look, I'm missing the cabling for it. So, like, I would have to buy this separately to be able to use the thing there. I don't know why that's not there, but it's tripping me out. And if we look at this YouTube video from this channel right here, and we go ahead and full screen this one, we can see the cabling here, which runs here, that has the SATA connection that would then go to the main board. It's just, again, I don't have that, so I need to buy that separately if I wanted to be able to add another hard drive, which I just wish it was there. It has capability. So it looks like the NVMe is SanDisk, which is good. I like their products. I think it's very quality. After removing the cover for the RAM and taking it out, we have one DIMM slot that is filled with this crucial 16 gigabyte, which again, it's very good. We got a 3200 megahertz, which again, it's decent. And after removing the cooling system, you can see that the thermal paste job it's functional. Like, it's not the best I've ever seen. The paste is a little old, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I want it to be, nice and goopy, and a lot more paste than that. And there we go, freshly de-gooped. And now I'm going to add a little Arctic MX4 on there to make sure it stays running good for years to come. And there we go, cooling system is reinstalled, got some fresh paste on there, so yeah, I just don't have to think about fixing that in the future. And overall, when it comes to what we've seen inside, yes, there were a couple small hiccups, but overall, I'd give it a pass. It's running quite a few great parts in here. So I got the computer put back together, I got Rufus finished up over here, so I'm going to put the flash drive in, and I'm going to install Windows off camera, and then we'll see how it performs. So more specifically, it looks like that SSD is a Western Digital green. So to give this thing the best fighting chance possible, I went ahead and gave it a fresh install of Windows 11 Pro, and I went ahead and updated all the drivers on it. And with only the task manager running, we can see that this thing is it's struggling a bit. Again, this is running an Intel Celeron N4500, which is a low-powered processor, which honestly gets defeated by processors that are well over 10 years old. That said, Windows 11 is a very resource-intensive operating system. And let's just see what this looks like trying to use this thing normally. So I'm going to do a hotkey to open up the task manager here. Okay, there we go. Took a second to load, but there it is. All right, let's open up Microsoft Edge, and honestly, that loaded pretty quick. Let's go to youtube.com and see how quickly it loads. This is, of course, internet dependent as well, but, you know, there we go. It is trying to do something. It's still processing in the background here. I'm going to try looking at my YouTube page here, and there we go. There we go. It started loading stuff. Cool. And let's go ahead and just go to google.com here. If I could type for the life of me here and type in the word test, and there we go. Did pretty okay. It had some little stutters, but nothing horrible. And how about opening up the file explorer? It has an NVMe. Okay, this is taking a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and open up documents. Takes a second to load, but it's acceptable. Pictures, music, videos. Okay, you know, it takes a second to get moving, but it's fast enough. So this is just basically the most bare bones experience that we can have. What this is going to tell me is multitasking is probably going to be extremely rough on here. Gaming is going to be pretty dang difficult. And again, if we just open up the task manager again here, we can already see, like I said, the utilization is already like cranked up. Even the RAM usage is like a little high. Nothing insane, but you know, thank God we got the 16 gigabytes of RAM version of this machine. So I'm going to go ahead and disable a bunch of the Windows like fluff that's running in the background here to see if we can get the performance to be a little bit better. So one of the things I'm going to do is run the Win11 debloat tool on GitHub just to again nullify a lot of the background processes to make this run a little better. And after running that script in PowerShell, it's just going to do all these fun things right here. After running the debloater, I'm going to restart the computer, and then I'm going to go to startup apps, and I'm going to nullify the things that I don't use because, well, it's just going to free up more resources. For Edge specifically, I'm going to go into the settings. I'm going to search up startup, and I'm going to disable startup boost because, again, it's trying to start Edge with the computer. Hey, it doesn't need to do that. And I'm also going to disable this running the background extensions in the background because, again, why? I'm also going to go to bleachbit.org, and I'm going to download the tool so I can then nullify any extra junk that's in the background, which you know, just helps out with refreshing the computer. And since this is a fresh install, it will still find stuff to remove. And after selecting a good chunk of the options that they have available in the tool, I'm just going to press clean, and I'm going to let it do its work. And after it's done, I'm just going to restart the computer one more time. And after debloating everything, we're seeing quite a drastic decrease in the amount of memory being used. The CPU isn't shooting up to 100% all the time. Like, it's still going to struggle when we try to, you know, run different tasks. Like, I'm going to open up Edge and the File Explorer right now. Still overall faster than it was, and again, we're even throwing some multitasking at it right now, but it's still not great, which is why we're going to swap over to Zorin Linux. So the beauty of Linux is you can take pretty much like a really legacy machine, a modern crap top, and you can turn it into a pretty sweet device just by replacing the operating system. Or you can do what I'm doing here and set up a dual boot to where, you know, it's going to go into Zorin by default, or as the computer's turning on, you can say, hey, I want to go into Windows. That way you get the functionality of both operating systems. And if you haven't seen it, I have a very beginners friendly video on getting started with the Linux, so check out my page if this interests you at all. And with Zorin Linux installed, we can already see a massive decrease in the amount of system resource utilization, which is exactly what we need for something with a low-powered processor. And just to get a rough idea of the speed, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Brave web browser right down here. I'm going to go to youtube.com, and I mean, right off the bat, it seems like it's running pretty good. I'm going to go to my YouTube page here, and loads up just fine. Open that up, got a video going. As you can see, guys, like, it's not like a giant improvement, but it is running much faster, much smoother. It's the difference of better operating system, definitely a better web browser, and it just all kind of adds up to a better overall experience. And we can see the same kind of improvements if we open up the file browser here. We can just jump around to all these different little files right here. Maybe I want to go into other locations, go into the Windows partition here, and go to users, and you guys see how much faster this is? It's amazing. And maybe I want to get fancy, you know, open up Brave and files at the same time here. You know, I can go back to the YouTube page here, have this load up, cool. Go, well, why am I going full screen on this? I'm gonna have that playing in the background while I open up this one. I can start going through. And you know what? I want to open up the task manager while I'm at it. That way I can just, you know, I can keep track of everything that's happening, throw this over off to the side, and you know, as this is all going, I can be navigating, having a good time, and you see what I mean? The difference is night and day. But anyway, guys, what is the point of doing all this? What I wanted to show you was not only can you take like a lower powered laptop like this one. It's not a bad laptop. It just needs the right, you know, software to get it up and running to a more stable state. Windows 11, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Well, this is still Windows 11, but you know what I mean. but when you replace it with something that manages its resources better, like Zorin, it's great, which is also why I recommend older laptops. You can get one from like 10 years ago for like $50 and then put Zorin on there and bam, you got yourself a quote-unquote modern machine, okay? Software is up to date, you can maintain the machine to make it a little better, and since its older parts are super cheap, so then you can upgrade it a ton for like next to nothing. Like, it's just what you put into the machine, what you have installed on there, and again, you're not going to turn, you know, a little junker into a gaming laptop by any means, okay? This isn't all of a sudden going to have the power of something with like an NVIDIA GPU and all that in it, but it's going to make it a much better experience. And again, what was the point of this video? It is a review of this laptop, and overall, I don't think it's a bad machine. The parts they included in this thing are great. The processor still is not great, but I can't fault it for that. This is a $300 machine. It's a budget-friendly option. And I wanted to show you guys that even though, yes, it has a low-powered processor, if you take the time to, let's say, replace Windows with Zorin or do a dual boot like I did here, you can get a lot of use out of this machine. This is great for doing, like, office work. This is great for schooling. Like, I might even throw Steam on here just to see if I can play, like, Half-Life, which I know we can play Half-Life. Everything can play Half-Life. But, guys, it's a good machine. I really can't fault it. Just kind of do what I just showed you guys in this video and it'll be awesome. But anyway, guys, if you like this one, you can find a link for this laptop right down here. Don't forget to like, follow, share, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.